I'm back and you're keeping it locked, people, with the real Gunna Lee. And yes, we're in jolly spirits today. Jolly spirits this time because we're going into a Christmas with Arsenal in the top four, and it's been a while since we've been able to say that. So it shows that we've had a good run of results since I've last spoken to them, and I can't be that much happy about the Arsenal. And in the last, I want to say, 13 games, we've had 8 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. 3 losses coming against Liverpool, Man U, and probably the biggest one for us, the most hurtful one against Everton. Um, Dropping points against with Crystal Palace and Brighton, but big wins against Leicester, Aston Villa, West Ham, and Leeds United last night. So in terms of that, we've been in good form, people. The main root of that is just the stability that we now seem to have in this side in terms of the communication that seems to be happening between the back line, our keeper, who has been a stalwart, just been everywhere for us in terms of accountability, shot stopping, and even just creating from the back in terms of finding those passes to our midfielders in Partey and finding those long balls out to Saka, Lacazette. Anything you name it, Ramsdale's done it. Anything with his feet, it finds another player. He's been exceptional in terms of his distribution and his delivery. Our backline and Tomiyasu seeming like one of the we had this season at right back. Ben White and Gabriel's combination, that partnership there in centre back has been immense. Tierney coming back from injury, looking more stable, looking like the Tierney of old with all those great crosses into the middle, setting up a couple assists. Our midfield finding goals, our youngsters coming of age with Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Emile Smith Rowe, all these youngsters playing well. Our strikers getting involved, Lacazette scoring late ditch goals, to grab a point for us. Lacazette setting up goals himself, setting up play, holding up play, building up play. I mean, it's been a great few games, great few months for the Arsenal. We've climbed up the table after starting the season off horribly. 3 losses, last in the Premier League. We're now 6 points, people. I think we're 6 points behind Chelsea. Let's say around 12 or so points from the top. And with Spurs drawing today, they can only even us in terms of top four with the games in hand. So it's really looking good for us. And you rather the games played or the points in hand than the game in hand. So Arsenal, top four going into Christmas, there's nothing like that. There's a good feeling. It's the way it's supposed to be. We're in with red and white. It's the time for the season. It's the Arsenal season. So it's just big up and happiness for that in terms of what we've been through. And so with all good things, there's bad things on the side of it, and the only bad thing we can really talk about in terms of Arsenal right now is that of our captain. Aubameyang in the last few games have been out of the squad. It hasn't hampered the squad. We've had great performances, some of our best performances even, you could say, against West Ham and now against Leeds from start to finish in terms of our build-up play. Lacazette seems to give these youngsters more than Aubameyang has been giving. Martinelli, when he's on the pitch on that left wing position, giving us more in terms of just his not runs in defense, because I think pressing, Aubameyang has always been known for his pressing, especially this year. But in terms of just making these runs and getting at the end of balls and finishing chances, being clinical, Martinelli has been amazing. Saka started off the season after the Euros a bit shaky, but these last few games we see what Sakaldinho is about, people. Saka just taking people's souls on the right flank. I mean, it's like a nightmare if you see Saka is in the team sheet on the right wing. In terms of Smith Rowe, I mean, in terms of a goal scoring midfielder, we have two now. We have one game is Smith Rowe. If it's not Smith Rowe, it's Odegaard, and both of them fighting with each other to stay in the lineup is something good to see in terms of our like offense and our defense. The midfield, midfield has always been our issue and our problem. We thought it was solved with getting Partey. Partey hasn't been horrible in my estimation, but even he will tell you that he hasn't been his best. I think he even graded himself top 4 in like an Arsenal interview. I mean 4 out of 10, I should say, not top 4. It's definitely not top 4. And honestly, if you look at his performances to date, including the last 2, I would give him a 5 so far. I think he is improving defensively. He seems to be in the right places, making key stops, key tackles. But offensively, gives the ball away a bit too cheaply. Shots not going anywhere, either getting blocked. But there seem to be, less of them going for the stands, less of them going towards the bleachers and more of them going on target a bit closer to ground. So if that means anything, we should see, more goals coming from Partey, who actually scored, so far this season. So, obviously he's getting closer and closer to the mark. With that, the big deal for us now is, what goes on with Aubameyang in terms of, does Aubameyang see himself back in this squad? He's been taken out of the squad by the manager due to disciplinary issues. And I mean, this is not the first time with Aubameyang, and in terms of me, from my point of view, I think the manager Arteta has done a great job in terms of how he's dealt with it. Honestly, we have a young team, one of the youngest teams in the Premier League, and young players need to see how you're supposed to be held to higher guard when you're a top player in your team. If you can't be showing up early, or you can't just reach the bare requirements that's given to you as a captain, then it's not good enough for Arsenal. It might be good enough for another team, but we're a different team, a different ilk, and we have values that we abide by, and I don't think anybody should be above those. Even though I love Aubameyang, even though he's our talisman, one of our best players for the past few years, there's just some things he can't do, and especially this year where his form has dipped, where he's missed sitter after sitter after sitter. There's something has to be said. If it doesn't seem like your head is fully into it, Arteta has to be the one to make these hard decisions, and I think he's made the right one here. Whether or not Aubameyang is still a part of the team, that's, it seems to be more of a bust up on that end, because it's one thing to take away the captaincy, but it's the next thing to keep him on the bench. And with more performances like this, I don't see how he gets into the team. Like I said, in that centre forward dropping down into the midfield does it better than no one else can do on this team. So there's no way I see Lacazette not being in this team. In terms of Martinelli has taken his chance, and there's no way he's giving it back. He looks Henry-esque with some of these finishes that he's been given, and that's just no disrespect to the great Henry, but that's just show you how good Martinelli has been playing. The speed and pace to run behind teams, that's what Martinelli is giving us. And we used to say it's not creating for Aubameyang and all of that, but the creativity is there now. We're seeing that these, it's not just the midfield score. Martinelli and Saka are getting on the score sheet. So that means that those runs are being made and the passes are being made now. So it's going to be a hard way back for Aubameyang. And if I be honest, if it's up to me, I think we have to continue with what we're doing, which is the full youth movement. And honestly, I would even buy in a little bit more to it. And, although Xhaka has come in and had decent performances, I do see a better player, a more mobile player in Lokonga. I would look to see Lokonga get more involved towards the end of the season, as well as Maitland-Niles. Depending on how AFCON goes and whatever, we might see both of them, play some minutes for Partey. But in terms of the Arsenal people, it's a great Christmas time. It's a great holiday time right now for the Arsenal. Hope it keeps on going. We have games against Norwich away. And then I think there's another game in between. And right after that is the Man City game, which, we should give us more of a understanding of where the team is. We're beating the teams we're supposed to. We're winning our games at home. And we seem to be winning games, big time games away from them. So it's our away form, how we keep on going with that, and how we continue against the big teams. So people, let me know what you think. Let me know if you think we can keep this top four for the rest of the season. Honestly, I think we can, based on our form and how we've been playing, but it really depends how we play against these big teams. Let me know what you think about the whole Aubameyang saga and situation. What you think about our youngsters? Who is your favorite youngster right now? If you don't know me from the time G, I've been saying Sakaldinho, but the way Smith Rowe is balling, I like Odegaard, and just the way that he plays, it does remind me of Ozil. So it's one of my favorite players. So let me know which one of these young players is your favorite player for Arsenal right now, and who's your favorite player halfway through the season? Who's been your best player so far? In terms of me, I think I'd have to go with Gabriel. I just think defensively, he's something that we haven't had in a while. Someone who was strong, accountable, fast, quick. I mean, someone is just hard to get by. There's pictures of Antonio dropping and flailing on the ground. And I mean, that's what Gabriel brings to the team. The stability is there, the cohesion, the connection with the fans. It's a great time to be an Arsenal fan. It's a great time to be a Gunner. And yeah, we just hope the good times keep rolling, people. Don't know, this is the real Gunner Lee, and I'm back.